This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, America beckons a local teenager who's leaving our shores to study after winning a Fulbright Award. A Dunedin professor discovers there's more to the Johnny Depp effect than initially meets the eye. And we'll find out why a French couple are touring the country with a van full of books. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. A Dunedin high school teacher is heading to the United States of America after winning a prestigious teaching award. Dr. Simon McMillan of Kaikorai Valley College will spend 4 months in Indiana conducting seminars and studying at university. And he's looking forward to bringing back some newfound skills.
Teaching with a winning formula. Kaikorai Valley College Head of Science Dr. Simon McMillan will soon be in an entirely different classroom. He's received one of 2 Fulbright Distinguished Awards in teaching, having been inspired by his students to apply.
I realised that I needed to have more information and a better understanding of what critical thinking actually was, and so the Fulbright allowed passage to a country where critical thinking is very much part of what they are trying to achieve in education, so it was a natural fit.
A rigorous selection process for the award began last November, with McMillan submitting an in-depth application. He was then interviewed via Skype and ultimately selected by an American-based board. He's thrilled to have made the cut and is excited for the opportunity to work on something that will benefit his students.
We hope to get at the end a type of teacher guide and a student guide for explicitly teaching critical thinking skills in classrooms and getting our students more responsible themselves to monitor, to plan and monitor and evaluate their own learning.
McMillan will join 17 other teachers from all over the world during his studies at the University of Indiana. He says it'll be a great chance to learn more about other countries' education systems. It's also an opportunity to talk about his own school, which has been instrumental in supporting the endeavour.
I really feel strongly that when someone achieves an award like this, they don't do it on their own and in isolation, and I have a great crew here of teachers supporting me and senior management staff in terms of really trying to push some of the boundaries of education into innovation, and we are really very collaborative and supportive of each other.
McMillan's planning to digitally share what he's learning with Kaikorai staff and students during his time away. He's set to leave for the United States in August. Ruby McAndrew, 39 Dunedin News.
Police are maintaining a presence in Seacliff, where a woman was found dead and a man was critically injured yesterday. Scene examinations are continuing as officers piece together what happened. They're contacting the family of the 53-year-old woman found dead in a Coast Road house. A 59-year-old man remains in a serious condition at Dunedin Hospital. He's understood to have suffered gunshot wounds, but police aren't commenting on the nature of his injuries or the incident. Officers located a firearm at the scene yesterday after emergency services were called about 8:30 a.m. No one has been arrested in relation to the case. A local researcher has completed a study into the attractiveness of female traits in men. The Johnny Depp effect is the theory that males with feminine features are considered more attractive than their masculine counterparts. But this latest research shows the concept goes beyond face value.
The face of ambiguity. This local professor is going over images used in a study he co-authored to see if there was any ground to the Johnny Depp effect.
High cheekbones, not a really strong jaw, very smooth skin. These are considered classically feminine features for men. And men who have these features sometimes are liked or found particularly attractive.
More than 100 people were asked to judge the attractiveness of faces that had male and female traits morphed together. Respondents were then asked to guess the gender of the images before rating them aesthetically. People rated feminine-looking men lower after thinking about their sex, but when gender wasn't considered, they were found more appealing.
What we found was that whether you like men with relatively feminine characteristics, in other words, ambiguous-looking men, gender-ambiguous men, that depends on the on whether you've been thinking about gender.
Halberstadt says there isn't a typical man that emulates beauty, which entirely depends upon personal taste. He says evolutionary psychologists suggest there are typical traits women subconsciously consider when looking for short-term and long-term partners.
Heterosexual women will prefer men with relatively masculine traits when they're looking for a short-term mate, and will prefer men with relatively feminine traits when they're looking for a longer-term mate.
This study was undertaken locally with help from researchers in the US and England. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Police are concerned about increasing disorder in and around the Dunedin Botanic Garden. An administration building window was smashed on Monday night, although nothing inside was reported stolen. It follows reports of people drinking and causing disturbances in the public space recently. Police are worried there could be a resurgence of student drinking games being played in the reserve. That was a problem several years ago when intoxicated people were falling out of trees. The facility has also been targeted by thieves previously who've broken into the hothouse to take cacti. It's legal to drink alcohol in the garden. A French literary tour of New Zealand has reached Dunedin, where its founders are engaging with local youth. The travelling duo are hoping to build cultural bridges and promote the importance of reading and writing, and they're doing it in a novel way.
Boosting literacy while sharing their culture. These travellers are in Dunedin with their little French book van, which they've been using to educate local school pupils.
It's children's books, most of them with illustrations, nice albums. So when it comes to the French that you find in them, it's basic French, so it's really good for the beginners that's just started to learn French here in New Zealand.
The couple are on a 6-month tour of the country. The My Little French book van is their way of getting from place to place and of engaging with communities. They're hoping to inspire wider vocabularies.
If it's not French, different languages, because it's important, and in New Zealand you're very far for other country and other language, but it's very important to have this awareness.
They've got about 150 French children's books which they're taking to classrooms, playgrounds, libraries and bookshops. They've met with members of the local French Society and spent time teaching students at Bayfield High School. It's a stark change from their former lives in Paris, and they're loving it.
It's really targeted at the kids here in New Zealand. We really intend to bring cultural awareness and give them the love of books. They all end up with the in-class presentation. They have a bookmark that we personalize with them. And so we're really hoping they're going to use this bookmark to go on a trip, but just turning the pages of a book. So that's really the main aim.
From Dunedin, they're taking the book van to Oamaru before heading back to the North Island and saying au revoir to New Zealand. Rosie Mannins, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we take a look at the educational side of ID Fashion Week, and a long journey is coming to an end for a French artist.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St. Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Ecrotech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 11 7766.
Mosgiel Mowers Plus can help you with products to make your garden maintenance jobs easier. Lawn mowers, ride-ons, chainsaws, line trimmers. Sales and service are our specialty. Mosgiel Mowers Plus. Phone 489 3572 22B Gordon Road, Mosgiel.
Pellet fires are growing in popularity in Otago, with people who want a clean and efficient form of home heating. The sight of a burning flame without the problems of chopping, stacking and carting wood around is a winner. Pellet fires. So easy, so efficient.
The team at Caltex North care more about you than just putting fuel in your tank. They care about you and your family. At the Caltex Valley Workshop, the skilled service team care about your safety, extending the life of your car and helping you live more economically. There's a range of modern equipment to give comprehensive warranty fitness checks and servicing to your vehicle. Come visit your only local in North East Valley and receive 10% off when you book your warrant and service together. That's your friendly Caltex Valley Workshop, 134 North Road, or book online at caltexvalley.co.nz.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Here's something else to look forward to sinking your teeth into every weekend with the Otago Daily Times, the Weekend Mix, your guide to what's hot in fashion, entertainment, food and more. New weekend magazine in your ODT. Pick up your copy this Saturday.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. Otago's gross domestic product has risen to just over $10 billion. At the latest count, it equated to about 4% of the national total, which was worth more than $241 billion. The region has had steady growth, with GDP doubling since the millennium. Per capita, Otago is sitting in the middle of the pack, with 7 regions doing better and the same number falling behind. The North Island is leading the way, representing just over 2/3 of the country's economy. Taranaki has the highest performance, taking population into account. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 11 points. It's now at 6,457. The Dow Jones is down 110 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is down against the greenback, the Australian, the yen and the pound, but we are up against the euro. The city's annual style showcase is about to begin, but behind the glitz and glamour there is a strong educational component. Margot Barton is the academic leader of fashion at the Polytechnic's Design School, as well as an ID committee member, and she joins us to talk about the opportunities for students associated with the event. Good evening.
Good evening.
How many fashion students are involved in ID?
Around 70 students.
And what ways are they included in the event?
We have students doing all sorts of things on the events. The junior students, I guess you could say, are working backstage dressing at the railway station, and the senior students, the 3rd and 4th years, help manage the Emerging Designer Awards.
What are some of the benefits that the students will get out of being involved?
Well, there's all sorts of benefits. One of the benefits is to see these amazing clothes up close. So just dressing at the railway station is a fantastic experience. If you're working at the Emerging Designer Awards, getting to see these students from all around the world who've come to Dunedin to show off their collections, that's really special, because they can have conversations about the techniques that the students have used to create their designs and find out about where they've studied and make connections that they can use further on in their careers.
Now, this year a community grant has enabled the committee to bring Stefan Segal to Dunedin. How will he be working with the students?
Well, Stefan is amazing. I think it was 2008, but I may have the date wrong, that he started a company called Not Just a Label, which is a company that really, he's a champion for emerging designers. And that's not just young designers, that's any designer who's really classified as an independent designer, so they're not working for a really big multinational company. And he's trying to find a new way to work the fashion system, almost like the slow food movement. And he goes around the world and talks about that and inspires people. And I think he's really creating a movement that hopefully will change the industry so more designers can have a say. And so us as consumers have more options.
What is unique about his perspective?
His unique perspective is that he only takes a small amount of clipping the ticket, I guess, off what they're selling. So he wants the designer to be the person who's in control of the sales, rather than in some areas it's the buyer from a big company that will be in control.
Do the students get to interact much with the other guests in the show?
They do. So the third years and fourth years get to be assistants with some of the designers. They get to do things like they go to their fittings and help them with the fittings. Sometimes they have to do minor repairs. They get to take the designers to exciting places like maybe to Meraki or out down the harbour, or op shopping in Dunedin, or down to see the shops like Plume and the other shops in Dunedin.
What opportunities have arisen for students through ID?
All sorts of things. We've had students that have been noticed. They've been really hard workers on the event, and people have said, come over to Australian Fashion Week and we'll get you a job there as an assistant. Lots took one of our students as an intern to Paris for a month because he was very impressed with her being his assistant when she was here. We've had another student who was helping on the Emerging Designer Awards, and the Emerging Designer asked him to go with him to Europe and do a selling tour around Europe, and he did that twice.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are these kinds of opportunities available to fashion students in other centres?
Well, I would say that if you lived in a bigger city, perhaps in Europe, you might have these opportunities, but we're so far away from everything. The whole philosophy behind the Emerging Designer Awards and getting the designers here, and also the well-known designers, was to bring the world here so that our students can interact with these people here.
ID Committee member Margot Barton, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, the Fringe Festival provides the perfect opportunity for a French artist to leave his mark on the city. And we're on the streets to talk harassment on and around campus.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
Works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
For professional, reliable and approachable service where your dream kitchen design can become an affordable reality, contact the team at Kitchens for Less. Call 455 9973 or visit us online.
Tech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Christie glass houses and sheds, good to grow stuff in. The first choice for gardeners for over 100 years. Built to withstand extreme weather conditions and hard work. Full range of options available. Thomas Burns Street across the road from the railway station. Free call 0800 Allens.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. A French artist is putting his distinctive mark on the city as part of this year's Dunedin Fringe Festival. He's creating a new artwork on a Rattray Street wall over the next 4 days, and his visit is serving as the culmination of a long journey.
Blanking his latest canvas, French graffiti artist Alparo is beginning work on the city's latest piece of street art as part of this year's Fringe Festival. While he has some idea of what the wall will soon look like, the end product is a work in progress.
In life you have to have a plan, definitely, so I have a plan, but it can change a little bit, so I know like the main shape or form I want to give on this wall, and also the colors, it's already, I know what it will be on.
Alparo's arrival in Dunedin marks the end of a more than 4-month journey walking from Cape Reinga to Bluff. He says it's been a life-changing adventure, but he's happy to be throwing himself into work.
Here I am now, it's finished and I start a new life, you can say it like that, artistic life, so I will go on, I'm in this festival now and going to Wellington and in the North Island, so it's quite good.
Alparo has just 4 days to realise his vision, a time frame that he says is just enough. However, he says the transient nature of street art and graffiti helps to minimise the pressure to make it perfect.
This is what is good with graffiti, and this is what is good with all the kind of stuff I can do for festival. It's like mostly temporary stuff. Here it will stay, but it's mostly temporary. So if it doesn't work, it's not very, very bad thing. It can change.
There's still secrecy around what the end result will be, although it will feature lettering. And if the spray can colours are anything to go by, there'll be plenty of bright aqua and dusty pink to please the eye. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
The University of Otago is dealing with fresh claims of sexual and racial harassment in and around campus. Authorities are also concerned about general disorder in the student quarter, and it's possible more CCTV cameras will be installed. So our Word on the Street team asked members of the public if they think tertiary students need to be more closely monitored.
I don't know about closely monitored, but maybe just check-ups or whatnot.
I think they probably do need a little bit of monitoring. I'm not sure what the best way to do it is, but I think it's probably getting a little bit crazy.
People shouldn't be stupid, sure, but I don't think watching them and putting up cameras will help really. It will just make people get freaked out, you know.
Of course they do. Yes, they definitely do. They're out of control. Yeah, we need more people down there on the job.
I don't know, they're pretty much adults, so they don't really, how else are they going to learn really? I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion on it.
Most of us have been here for a really long time, but probably focus more on the first years, because they're out of their home, and this is a whole new experience for them.
Oh, not really. I think we just need to be left alone for a little while just to recuperate, because we have been through a lot right now. And I think people aren't helping us by getting in our faces.
The situation in Castor Street the other day was chaotic, but everybody knew that it would have been anyway. So the organisers who organised that show, they must take some responsibility for this.
I think they really need to be closely monitored. I mean, for the most part, they don't damage too much, so yeah, it should be fine as long as they're not causing too much trouble.
The Otago Regional Council is getting too big for its headquarters in Stafford Street. The issue was highlighted in a report for councillors to consider at their meeting today. The council is looking at alternatives, including the reuse of existing heritage properties in the city. Staff have allocated funding from building reserves towards planning and designing a new space. The council is wanting about 3,000 square metres plus parking room and an open office area. It's expecting to vacate the Stafford Street building within 3 years. And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. The head of science at Kaikorai Valley College is one of 2 Kiwis to win Fulbright Awards for travel and study in the United States. A local professor has discovered there's more to the Johnny Depp effect and how feminine traits in men are perceived to be attractive. And a French couple are in the city promoting literacy and culture with a van full of children's books that they're taking around the country. It's time now to find out what's going to be in Thursday's Otago Daily Times. And Barry Stewart's here with us. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca. A breaking news story just developing in the Bay of Plenty. We believe up to 4 policemen have been shot in an incident up there, so we'll have more on that, of course, on our online site and in the paper tomorrow. Other things, predicting very strong winds overnight in Dunedin, strong enough to topple power lines and blow down trees, so batten the hatches.
Isn't that something to look forward to?
Yay. Yeah. It'll clear the debris out of the gutters, though.
And into the mud tanks.
True. Yeah, good point. Let's move on. We talked to celebrity cricketers who are facing up to the New Zealand Open golf event in Queenstown tomorrow. That starts tomorrow, so a big celebrity range of players there. ID Fashion Show, special publication in the paper tomorrow, so everything you wanted to know about ID Fashion. I know you had a touch of that earlier, but we have the complete guide in the paper tomorrow.
Fabulous. That's tomorrow's ODT. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.
Time now for local weather.
This weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
Here is our city view. It's taken looking over rooftops in Stafford Street. Around the city at 3 o'clock today, 18 for the central city, bit of a breeze through there, 24 for both the Gardens and the Tyree. To the situation, and an active cold front is approaching from the Tasman Sea. It will move over us tomorrow. It's preceded by a very strong westerly airstream, which is what Barry was talking about, and unfortunately it's followed by cold southerlies. Well, around some of the main towns on the lower South Island for tomorrow, it means southwest gales with rain for Invercargill, Gore and Te Anau. Strong southwesters in Alexandra with a few showers and a high of 16. Strong southwesters for Queenstown, a few showers there. Southwest gales for Oamaru, showers later in the day. Strong westerlies in Wanaka with a few showers, and westerly gales for Twizel with a few showers. 16, the magic number for these towns. In Dunedin tonight, fine with nor'westers becoming strong to gale force and an overnight low of 13. Tomorrow, winds easing in the morning with scattered rain at times. Southwesters developing during the afternoon and evening, up to gale force at first, but easing slowly. Period of showers from evening, 16 degrees. And on Friday, showers clearing, sunny periods increasing with fresh cold southerly winds, easing in a high of 12. It's a very involved forecast. And to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information, low tide tomorrow afternoon is at 20 past 12. High tide follows at 10 to 6. And fishing conditions are still not worth considering. Whew, I'm beat after all that reading. That is local news for Wednesday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.